Oh Lord, come on, don't do this to me. I don't want to push it. Damn it, it's gonna make me push it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to 2 Cents, the show where we're definitely going to leave the groundhog now when he says a couple more weeks of winter. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. How you guys doing today?
Doing good?
Yeah? Doing good?
Did we start already?
Yeah, we started. Oh,
Good to be
you
back.
keep haranguing me about starting.
Welcome back, man.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I
you
had to
been?
take a hiatus. I wasn't feeling right. I'm just kidding. No, I just had something to do. I just had something
Contractual
to do.
obligations,
Yeah.
contract disputes.
I'm contracted to
What?
10 episodes.
Oh, okay, all right.
We
That's
gotta
what it
redo
was.
the contract.
We got to redo the
Yeah.
contract.
No, we did. We had a good show last episode.
I saw it.
You see it?
Yeah, I
That's
saw
pretty
it.
good.
It was
That's
pretty
Yeah, it
good.
was pretty
I
good.
saw it.
Good
You had to
information.
divide it into two. I was like,
Yeah,
whoa, damn, you
man.
must have talked a lot.
It was a good. It was a
Well,
good.
it was a
good
talking point.
conversation.
Good talking
It really
Yeah,
was.
Today is a little bit more different.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's
Yeah.
muggy. It's
Yeah.
like we put away jackets, and then it was
Hats. We put away hats.
bringing back
you know.
jackets, bringing back salt.
Bring out the straw hat, then
Yeah, so,
I thought I was done with it, then I had to bring out the felt. So
see, but I got a gripe.
all right,
I got a gripe. So
yeah.
we're talking gripes today.
Yeah, we're gonna talk gripes today. We're gonna do different subjects because the show's 2 cents. We gotta give our 2 cents about something.
Why? Because we have.
3.
There we go. Let's
There
go. Bring it.
All right. So I guess I'll start first.
Yeah.
All right, my gripe today is during the week. I follow a lot of shows, TV shows, in my life. So, but one of the biggest ones is the Yellowstone series. Is of course everybody knows that series. Everybody's seen it. It's pretty good, right? So they made prequels, and then they made all the other spin-offs. Like what is it? Tulsa King,
Landman.
Landman, Mayor
When you talk it
Kingstown.
that way, I get it.
Okay, but yeah. So, but the thing right now, me and my wife are watching 1923. Okay, and let me tell you how frustrated I am with the writing of that show. And then that's not just any that show. Shows in general where you start to feel that the creator, whoever, starts wearing himself out too thin. Taylor Sheridan, cool guy. I've seen him. I've interacted with him. And matter of fact, I told you guys I was on. Last time I was on the show.
Yeah, Mr. Hollywood. Over
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was an extra on one of his shows, and I saw him. He was good guy to work with, and he was I got to see him direct, and it was pretty cool because that's one of my biggest things. I'm a big film nut. But when I start to notice that the shows wore themselves out too thin, you just start to notice. It's very frustrating because right now
You're gonna have to give me an example.
I'll give you an example. I'm getting to the example.
Maybe because I'm old. I don't. Yeah.
I'm talking to the audience about it.
Go ahead.
Biggest example is this year's 1923, the second season. Okay, in the season, the basic season. Okay, I'll give you the basis of it. Okay, family's in trouble. They call upon their one of the nephew who's off to the other side of the world.
I thought it was a brother.
It was a brother, but like the Harrison Ford, the Harrison Ford character, that's his nephew.
Yeah.
That's his nephew, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a brother.
No.
Okay,
It was a nephew. They called upon him because he's the one.
I saw
He's the
that.
next in line to take over the family ranch, and it has taken him 2 seasons. 2 seasons for him to get. He's not even there yet. 2 seasons for this man to get to the ranch.
So okay. So let me ask this because I haven't seen it, and I'm not the type of person that says, "Oh, don't tell me," because I don't want. No, I don't care. If I turn it on and if I like it, I'll continue to watch, no matter if they tell me the spoiler. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But since you're talking like that, about that, I saw the first time where he's in trouble trying to get here.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the last season.
That was the last season.
So you're telling me that this season,
yeah, he's still hasn't gotten there.
he still can't make it to
No, he went on the port of Galveston. He had to run into some mafia guys. He had to drive a bootleg truck of booze, and then something about that. Then he's on a train. Next thing you know, he runs into the law. it was
all over Texas, but he hasn't even gotten to Wyoming.
No, he hasn't even made. No, he hasn't made it to Wyoming.
Okay.
And today I'm about to find out, because it's the last episode. 7 episodes just for him to get to the ranch, if he even gets to the ranch.
You know what the spoiler is going to be? If he finally gets to the ranch and they don't make any more seasons.
Oh, that'd be fucking.
I'm
Well,
serious.
At the rate at this is going, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna.
But they kind of went on the realism then, because you could travel through Texas and still be in the same state for 13 hours.
That's true.
It's true.
Maybe, no,
I
but
get it.
it's more of a goof that I'm saying. That.
I know.
It's more of a.
I know.
They went with
And
the
at this
realism
point,
there.
Marcos, at this point, I'm glad you find it hilarious, but I'm about to punch somebody in the face, because this man, by the time he gets there, he's gonna fight Rip for the damn ring.
I'm right. Yeah, he's gonna be there.
Man,
It's a Chinese New Year for my man to get in there.
And by the time he gets there, they're gonna be the ranch will be sold.
Yeah.
Like the last episode.
It's gonna be sold by the time he gets there. Hey, where's the land?
God.
Your descendants, your
I
grandkids, they sold it.
I give it. Maybe that will be, for me, it will be a turn off, because everything revolves on Yellowstone. So if you're not even filming nothing about Yellowstone, then what?
No. And I'll give you a quick insight on that, because again, I was on the show, and one time I had to go do the costume fitting and whatever, and one of the producers was there. Nice guy, good to talk to, because as soon as I told him I was a big fan of the film and all that stuff, he's like, closed his book up. What questions do you have, man? Come on, give it to me.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like, all right, yeah, go ahead, ask away. I'm like, oh, man, Then I asked him, and I finally got to because at the time, the second half of the season 5 hadn't come out yet. So I told him, hey, man, when is season 5 coming out? Come on, you guys, you got to tell us
something.
Yeah. And he's like, look, like, I can't tell you that, because we're not even there yet. He says, because when Landman was filming, the writer strike had just happened, so they had to pause everything.
Okay.
So he said, well, this show at the time Landman was filming, that was supposed to come out in November of last year, but since we're here, we still have to do. And he called it how all the shows came out. He called it. He's like, well, we still got to get to Kingstown, Tulsa King, and then we still got to finish 1923. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Man.
And just like he predicted, the Tulsa King and Mary Kingstown came out right around the same time, and then now we're at 1923. So, but I think the thing is that he wore himself out too thin. He's trying to rush to get these shows out, because productions and big demand is trying to get him to go out, and I understand that. But I'm like, dude, I think you should have put a pause on some of these shows, because like I said, I think that's the thing that a lot of film people need to know, a lot of writers and producers and directors. Like, please, we're not in a rush. We will wait. It's going to be a big payoff if we wait for the good outcome, instead of stretching out an entire second season where it takes a character 3 years to get to where he needs to be.
So maybe I guess the way I
it's
might
cold,
be understanding is, if they're stretching this series out, the 1923 is it? If they're stretching it out to really nothing, honestly, to nothing.
Oh,
to me, it's like I'm throwing that out there just to have something, so that I can concentrate on this.
Maybe
probably.
You see what I mean?
I never thought of it that way.
But the problem will be there is, because remember, Yellowstone is over. That was the biggest hit.
It's done.
So
it's done.
1923 is just a little spin-off, just to keep people, I guess, remembering.
Yeah.
And then focus on these other ones.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me back in my years. There used to be a TV show, a series that came. It's a novela for our Spanish
You told me about
audience.
that.
It's a novela.
Yeah.
And when he told me about that, it brought me.
Fuego la sangre. I'm just kidding. No.
Something 2 roads or something you said.
Dos mujeres, un camino.
Yeah.
Oh,
2 women, 1 road
Eric,
is what he said.
Eric Estrada, he came out and they made a big fuss. Eric Estrada's coming, and he's gonna be in Mexico, making the big star, making this novela and whatnot. And everybody was glued. Everybody wanted to know, because remember, back in the day, we had the chips that was Eric Estrada. The Hispanic actor. He was very known for Hispanic. And anyway, the way the way this novella started, he was a truck driver, and which reminds me, I found some clips that my wife took truck when I was truck driving and stuff, and you'll probably see him in the little shorts and everything, and hope you get a good kick out of it because people don't understand the stuff that happens to me that we put on this. They're real. I mean, I don't make those stuff up. It's just stuff happens.
You got to tell them a story, not to get off track.
So let's go back. So
Yeah.
this clip, this novela, was Eric Estrada, Laura Leon, and some young actors that I can't remember her name. Anyway, Eric Estrada came back from the United States because he had to run because there was two families, Eric Estrada and another family, a rich family. They were fighting for this one girl, and they were racing, of all things, 18-wheelers. And then it went off the cliff. The guy died, and Eric Estrada had to flee. And the thing was funny was because he went from Mexicano, the young Eric Estrada, put a young guy speaking Spanish and the whole 9 yards, right? Then he went to the United States for like 20 years or something like that. Came back, and now he couldn't speak that good Spanish. All right, so then he, on his way home, right, because he was happy to go home, he fell in love with this young girl, right? Mm-hmm. Then he finally made it home, and he wound up marrying with his love of his life, right, the mom of his children, right? Yeah. And then through the whole novella, it was him breaking up with his wife, going back to the young girl, and then having issues with the young girl, going back to this side, and then going back to this side, and then going back to.
That's exactly how it's going.
By the time the novella was like halfway through, everybody was going like, "Oh, he's gonna go back again. Oh, he came back again."
What? And you're like, "What's the point of this?"
And then after a while, you're like, "Let me click it."
That's kind of the thing. It's just like, again, writers, everybody, big companies, Warner Brothers, Disney, 26, like, you guys need to listen. You guys need to listen. We will wait for the product because everybody's having that problem now.
Well, the thing is that what I wanted to gripe about actually ties into what you have a gripe about, to be honest. Because look at it this way. So it goes with anything, and my portion was more into the music. Okay. So, but it ties into what he's talking about.
Put it right there, man.
Down because I started talking with my hands. I'm going to throw it. But
your phone too.
So the thing is
going to knock off.
So you have artists putting out music, and then they start getting bigger. You get more fan bases and stuff like that. Well, when they do projects, they take some time. It's not just free because they want to put out a good product. At least the artists tend to, in my opinion, want to do the good. Want to sound cohesive in the album. The song needs to be really good. Doesn't need to be boring to where you're listening to the album, you get like, oh dang, this song, I don't like it. I'm boring. Skip. Get more listeners. But what happens is that there's fans out there that'll be like, where's the music? I need the music. Bring out another song. Do that, and then they put out a song and it's bad because they want to give their audience something.
So they're rushing it.
And they're rushing it.
Yeah.
So same thing. The thing is that you're saying like, for me, I'm willing to wait because an artist needs to have time to do a good product.
Deliver
any type of artist, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether
it's so true. It's so true.
Needs time to put out a good product for their viewers, for their listeners, whatever that may be. But there's fans, toxic fans, that will be screaming, "Give us the next one! Give us the next one!"
No matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Now they're like, okay, then if you're good with mediocrity, here it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen a lot of that with. My wife and I, we make jokes about it because, as you can see, you can hear my voice. People say, hey, I actually it's a gripe of mine. I'm gonna say it.
That's another one.
If I ever see you on down the street and everything, and you meet me or something, hey, I'll say hi. I love everybody. But here's the thing, man. I've been at stores where I'm getting ready to go to cash out, to the cashier and everything, and the lady. Like the lady literally in the back of the doing the cashier thing, she literally goes in her pocket, pulls out a Halls, and gives it to me. Says,
good.
Oh man, that's
the way I talk. She grabs it and then hands it to me. She goes, "Yeah, it's been bother my this weather. And I'm like, I grab it. I'm like, first when they first did that to me, it didn't click. And then finally I was like, I was like, no, I'm not sick. And she goes, well, it's because your voice. You have a what is it,
Raspy voice.
And I was like, no, that's my voice. And she's like, really? Like, but I'll take it, you know.
Thank you.
Anyway, after a while, people tend to do that all the time now. I've noticed that I go somewhere and I'm talking and people actually say, like, hey man, drink some. I had a person give me a remedy for sore throat. Yeah,
he sounds like a dying chicken on purpose. Okay, let's just
now it's like it's to me it's like it's a common thing. So whenever people tell me that, I just tell them automatically. And now I make a joke of it. When people go up to me and tell me, well, they say, I tell them this is my voice, and they go, really? I said, yes. I said, well, people see I had my tonsils taken out when I was a kid, and it's true. I had my tonsils taken out. I said, but before that, I used to have a voice like an angel. Like I used to sing like, in front of people like angel.
He would have been the next Vicente Fernandez.
He would have been the next Chente, everybody. But they took out his tonsils, and
now I sound like what is it, that duck? What is that duck? Daffy Duck?
Daffy Duck?
No, which
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. There we go.
Donald Duck.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I tell my wife, I says, I listen to music on the YouTube or whatever, and sometimes these artists just come out and I'm going, who the hell told this guy he could sing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
I see what you.
I'm sorry, dude, but I have a better voice than that. And then they throw these high pitches, and I'm like, what the damn?
You know what it is.
So then I'm going, people, and I get people start demanding.
Yeah.
But
you know what it is though?
Yeah,
It's because you could work with how they look versus what their talent is nowadays.
Actually, yes.
Because auto-tune is a thing.
Yeah.
Auto-tune is a thing.
Yeah.
People use auto-tune. If I was to go out and do music, I could just get myself a computer, mess with my vocals, and I could sound fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing is that that's what happens. It's just that these big companies like Universal has a Sony, all them. They have their own label companies for music. They will sign pretty much anybody and anything. And in my opinion, that's the worst thing they could ever do because nowadays music has been saturated.
And you're
in my
right.
opinion,
It's the image they can
it's
put.
just the image. Like not to dog, but look at prime example. And I very controversial, but Peso Pluma doesn't have the most amazing voice.
No,
he doesn't.
no.
You could tune it up to a point where it sounds decent, but it's all how he looks on stage, his charisma, his movement. The ladies are always gonna love this dude because they think, oh my god, he's amazing.
Yeah, because but you can sound terrible and look terrible because Mick Jagger's it's something else, man. He's
But true,
big old lips and stuff,
True.
and he's still
But again, it was the music. The music started where they just it's like the music. If you turn Mick Jagger and back in the day, does not auto-tune all that stuff. Put Mick Jagger and what they used to play, there was no visual.
Yeah,
The
true,
music
true.
You see what I mean? So before they had to do the music first, and then the visual. A lot of people didn't.
That's why.
Didn't get
That's
that.
why we need to
check it out. Peso Pluma.
Yeah.
He actually admitted when he went on David Letterman. He was on David Letterman, and David Letterman said, "Dude, the hairdo. Tell me about the hairdo."
He didn't even want it.
Oh yeah.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
And the fans loved it.
And that's what he did. Now he changed it because he finally did what he wants.
So, and there's the other one is like I see videos all the time, and I mean I get what they want to do. They want to bring viewers. They want to bring that's how they get popularity and whatnot.
Well, going back to Marcos' thing, like again, you were talking about the whole demand and how people say, oh, because people wanted to see that. That's true, because but at the same time, it starts to get to a point where how much is enough? How much is enough that you give so much, and how much is it going to be enough? It's never going to be enough.
No.
Apparently, that's where music has gotten to.
Yeah,
music
because
has gotten to
perfect example.
They'll do whatever it takes to make sure they look good.
Yeah,
when they're doing their presentation.
Well,
perfect example. Just to go into this, the artist that I listen to currently, they they had such an amazing year last year, right? When they came out with an album back in 2023, early 2023, they went on tour. They're doing all this stuff. They announced that this year they had already started working on their newest album and they're gonna put it out. Since January, there's fans are like, okay, we're ready. When are you gonna put it out? They never, and these guys are anonymous. They don't do interviews. They don't do nothing. They're like masks
What's
and
the name?
everything. Sleep Token is
Sleep Token?
Yeah.
I've heard of Slipknot.
No, well,
No,
they're like
they're like
Slipknot,
Slipknot,
but they're newer.
more.
Okay.
They're more
They're
today.
more modern.
and
They've been out for a
modern,
while.
yeah,
But I'll tell you
yeah.
this: they've been out since like 2017.
Took you off guard, huh? You didn't know.
I didn't know
Slipknot.
was.
I don't know half the stuff he comes out with.
Yeah,
As a
because,
kid,
yeah.
that was all like, yeah, why you listen to that? Now he bumps Eminem. I don't even know this guy anymore.
Oh, I'll tell you something about Eminem.
Oh no. Okay. Anyways,
But they've been out since 2017. Now their style of music they never conform. So they take aspects of other genres and put it into a heavy metal, and they have heavy metal in it. You should really listen to it because if you know anything about Slipknot, if you heard anything about Slipknot, if you somewhat enjoy their music, you can. They're amazing.
I didn't enjoy their music. I enjoyed their performance. That's weird.
Yes. So they have a performance and all that stuff. So what I'm trying to get because I'm getting off topic, but the thing is that they since last year their newest album was like the number one album in metal. They won awards and stuff like that. Mind you, they don't go to award ceremony. The guy that produced their music, he's the one that accepted it. And I've never seen anybody, as far as I know, interact with them, take a picture with them, nothing.
You know who they remind me of? In my day?
Yeah.
Kiss.
What?
Okay.
Kiss used to do that?
Okay, Kiss came out with their music.
Yeah.
Painted.
Yeah.
Music
and everything.
For a couple of albums, nobody knew who they were.
It was a face paint.
They always came out, and when
came
they
with
did
the character.
When they did interviews, they would cover their
face.
So then, but they pulled out. They actually released an album.
Yeah.
And it bombed. But when they were performing, they were breaking records. So people were like, wait a minute here. It was all because they loved the performance and the songs live.
Yeah.
So then somebody had an idea, said, okay, since our album bombed, but concerts are all packed, let's record it live.
They are known for their
so they recorded
they're known for
their albums live.
Yeah.
So then when they recorded their albums live, they
skyrocketed.
Yeah. But nobody knew who they were.
Yeah. Well, and that's the biggest thing is that and they had their own character name and stuff like that, and they transcended that character because they wanted to make it like that's what they are.
Give you that mystery.
Yes.
That mystery.
So that's exactly what it is. But what happens is that these fans like myself, I could care and it might sound rude. That doesn't sound rude. But I frankly don't care what they either look like, who where they're from. It's just the music is amazing that they put out. I'm gonna tell you, they have no song that they made in their discography of music. There's not a single bad song. I can't say that lightly because people might think I'm lying. I'm not lying. No, they cannot make a bad song. So that's why they take a hiatus since 2023. Their last album didn't come until 2019. So they took 3 years to make that, and it's a big hit. And now they have a big following. They got so big, now they're packing arenas. They're selling out in 2 days arenas right now in their tours. But what happens is that everybody's shouting, they'll be at the concert and they're performing, and people in the front row are like shouting their real names because
investigate. People want to investigate who's their real names.
And they're like, they start to shout his real name to try to see if they can make him do something. And the one time the people were interviewed him, that they interviewed a big magazine or something, they always said, we're not about, I don't want you guys to care who I am under the mask, under the thing. I just want you guys to enjoy the music.
Which is true.
It does two things. To me, I think it does two things because they can walk down the street, nobody knows it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can have their personal life. See, that's my gripe. That's my other gripe.
That's another gripe. I'm with you on that one.
When an artist comes out, I don't care who you are. If an artist comes out and you do good, why is it that you do it? If you do it to gain fame, then don't be upset because people are trying to climb the walls
to
to
get
take
to you.
pictures of
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
Or if you see him at the grocery store, people are like, "Can I have a picture? Can I?" Because here's the thing.
You know, and people say, and there's some people. Don't get me wrong.
They're
Yeah,
rude.
yeah. I was gonna say there's two
There are
two
people-
sides to
there's
that
two-
coin.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
John Cena, I saw videos of him where he takes the time. The only thing he doesn't like, and he's been open about it, if he's walking down the street, if he's at the mall, if he's at the whatever, he'll stop and take a picture with you.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that he has is ask.
Yeah.
He says that's the
Don't
only
go
thing.
there. Don't go over there.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
try
don't go
and
over there and
sneak
just like
pictures.
yeah.
He said ask. And there was one guy that he was at a store, at a regular store, just walked in to get something, and he was walking out, and this guy noticed him that it was John Cena, right? So he started, recording, and John Cena said, "Oh, this is John Cena. He's out here shopping. How you doing?" And John Cena says, "Oh, I'm doing good." Very polite. And you know how big this dude is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you don't want to mess with this dude. He's I'm pretty sure that when he gets pissed, he can throw you across the room.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's there,
Easy.
and the guy goes, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "I'm doing good. How y'all doing?" He goes, "Oh," but he's recording him, like recording.
Yeah,
like,
he's recording.
"Oh,
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, you doing some shopping?" He goes, "Yeah, just doing some shopping." And he did the little answer the questions, and then he goes, "Thank you, by the way." He tells him that. "Thank you, by the way." He goes, "Thank you. What do you mean?" He goes, it got him off guard. The guy with the camera. He's like, "What do you mean? Thank you?" He goes, "Thank you for asking if you can take a picture." Because you didn't.
No, yeah.
And he says that was his. He says that's rude. I said that is rude.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'll gladly do it. I'll stand here and talk to you for a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But ask. This is very rude. I'm just trying to come in here and get my stuff. If you would have asked, I would do it. But no, you know what? Thank you for asking. And he walked out.
In my
And
opinion,
people are like, "Oh my God, he's rude." No, he's telling you he has no problem.
Yeah, no. What people don't understand, and especially with this guy, because he put out, and here's the biggest thing, props, is that he recently put out a single addressing this.
Yeah.
Right. And it was kind of like, because it was very melodic, upbeat. It even has like a reggaeton beat. So it was like, it was really nice, kind of islandy vibes.
Yeah.
But the lyrics what he was talking about was actually very sad. And I'm like, the people that were like, "Oh, dancing to it," but then there's me where I'm a big fan, where I want to read the lyrics, where I want to see the message, and I'm just like,
Well,
dude, this guy is,
And that's why I mean people don't really listen to what they're following.
Because break down the lyrics. Basically break us down the lyrics really quick as to what it really talks about.
Yeah, so
because it talks about exactly what we're talking about right now.
So like look at it this way. He talks about in the sense where I said, hey, they're screaming out my name to get a rise out of me. That's what he says at the start of me. But in all honesty, like there's one lyric where he says, "Too young to get bitter over it all, and then too old to retaliate like before." So he's talking sense in a sense that I'm too young to be bitter about it, but I'm also too old to retaliate like when I was younger. Come on, like stop doing that. So I'm just gonna keep continuing to do what I do and give you the music.
Good for him.
Now, and the biggest thing is that a lot of people in the fan base are like, you see what happens, and here's the biggest thing that deters people like them to come out and do meet and greets, maybe take a picture with the fans.
Yes.
Because in all honesty, they don't do that. I don't think, because there's other people that'll you spend like more VIP money so you go backstage maybe to do a signing, whatever, go like that. I feel like now they were starting to get there, but then now we just deterred them from doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's just
exactly. And again, he was smart about it. I want to put my music, but I want to have my personal life.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But for those people that are out there that if you become a super mega, then live with what it.
I got an example. I got an example.
Live with what it brings you.
I got an example there. So, like I said, I worked on the TV show on the set. You know what I mean? And I saw the characters, the main characters, and everything there. I saw Taylor Sheridan, who was directing and stuff. Now, I could have gone up and said hi because he was right there. He was like no further from me and Mark was right there. But I think people, and yes, you're probably gonna say, "Oh, no, Jay, well, you wouldn't do that." Like that's to each his own. I'm just passing along what I do because I've not only been in that situation as well, but I'll give you another example afterwards. And I was, like I said, I was there. I saw Taylor Sheridan, and like I said, he was one of my biggest directors I would ever love to sit down and talk to about his ideas, sharing them, what he thinks, how he gets his inspiration stuff.
One of his ranches is right out here.
Yeah,
like going on
the
30.
Sixes.
No shit.
No,
Not the Sixes. It's right there.
It's
No,
what is
Bosch, it starts with a B. It came out in one of his
little shows.
one of his shows.
Oh, really?
In Yellowstone.
Oh, really?
Where he's playing cards.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
Beth comes over
Yeah.
and
That's
says, "Hey,
I seen that.
You ever see the front of that? Right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story in a minute. Go ahead.
So, but I knew in that moment, now is not the time to do that.
He's working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you saw that man, and he wasn't being rude. He wasn't being, a douche or anything like that. You saw it in his eyes. He was there. He was like,
focus.
Yeah. I mean, he went, like that to people, and I saw that, and I went like that, but I knew I'm like the man's working, and that's the thing that people don't need to kind of pick up on is that yes, there's two sides to that coin. There's people that have fame and are just completely like jerks about it, like they really don't want to, don't want any part of that, but you ask for it. But then that other side is that I think we need to like do that because that's one. And then I've met bigger stars like Vin Diesel,
Oh yeah,
he went down there and he's cool because he knows he's cool. He knows he's top billing.
He stopped and talked to everybody.
He stopped and talked to everybody.
That was cool.
He shook my hand. Them damn arms are no joke. I'm not gonna lie. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" But he took his time to wave at everybody and said hi and whatever. But at the same time, he was there. He was there on business. He was there. He needed to get to where he needed to go. And then the reason where I learned that is because, as we talk about it, my dad talks about it, I talk about it. We were in the rodeo, circuit, for a while, and we've met, famous bull riders along the way, and they do take the time. They shake your hand, they say hi, they talk to you and stuff.
They sign your boots.
They sign your boots.
Tough Hedeman.
Tough Hedeman.
Man, dude, he was awesome.
He's the man. My hero. He's my hero. But I've met him. And I've met, different other guys that are pretty well up there, even from afar. They wave. They know who they are as a person. They know that when they go there to the arenas, there's little kids out there taking their hats off and doing all that.
Well, I think one of the things is an understanding that they're there because of the people that came to watch.
Exactly. Yeah, but and that's the thing. It's got to be that happy medium where we need
the other side of that coin too is like what people don't understand. Well, what people should understand is that yes, like they will perform, whether it's an artist, whether it's bull rider that goes signs autographs in the rodeo, whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, when that man is nowhere near people, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah,
he is a human being. He wants his piece. There's some days where he's not gonna want to.
And I met Hedeman twice, and the first time it was at an autograph signing.
Yeah.
Second time was after the rodeo.
Yeah, we went.
And then we went, and then I went, and then I went because you guys weren't caught up there yet. I went to him again and like, sir, I don't want anything. I just want to shake your hand, sir. That's all it is. Oh, sure. Good to see you. Like I'm like, you're my hero, man.
I wasn't like that.
He was yeah. And that's that stuck with me. I'm like, you know what? Like he took his time to at least shake my hand. Like if I ever meet anybody famous, I'm like, I'm gonna shake their hand. That's all I want. It's just a handshake. I've seen
Tough Hedeman get after a fan because he was busting in on somebody else's picture with him with another fan.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Marcos, I was telling him, hey, wait, the man's busy. Wait till he's done, and then we'll go up. And there was another guy, and when he was done, he was waiting calmly with his boot in his hand.
I remember that.
And he was gonna give it to Tough Hedeman to sign.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there was a guy trying to tell his kid, get in there so I can take a picture. Get in there to take a picture. And Tough Hedeman's like, I could see in the corner of his eye, he's looking at this guy, right? And he's signing autographs and stuff. And he literally told the guy, hey, you can wait. And it's like, he's been waiting too. And I'm like, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
understand. I get it. You know, they're famous. You want to take a picture with them and everything, but you also gotta be, what do you call that?
And then
Patience and
No,
Yeah.
not patient. What do you call it? Respectful. man.
respectful.
You know,
Yeah, you know,
you
it just
gotta be able to
that
calm down and
because
okay.
and then the BS part about it is that you know there's cameras out there. He blows up, right? He gets mad. What's gonna happen next day?
Oh,
TMZ's all over.
Yeah,
Oh, he threw a
yeah,
fit.
yeah,
Oh,
threw a
he
fit.
diva.
some people, some famous people like that. Normally, you don't see them like that. In my opinion, when I see that, everybody has a day. In my opinion, but those artists that are constantly like that. That they're truly rude. They're truly a-holes.
Looking at you,
You know
Bill
what I'm
Murray.
saying?
I'm just kidding.
There are true literal a-holes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to cuss about it, but those people, then that's where I have that side of like,
you asked for
this type of
You
lifestyle.
Yeah.
wanted this
So
lifestyle.
don't be mad that people are trying to come and get you. Now, I understand there's a time and a place, but the guy that's always an a-hole to people that say no pictures, no.
You know,
I
you know who understood that, and you were gonna mention him, Eminem, because in an interview he's like, yeah, I mean, I get frustrated because I can't go down the street and get a freaking sandwich, but it was a hell of a
It's
career choice. He said,
Well,
that's why he stays in Detroit.
But again, it's like I had a friend who met. I don't know if you guys. In my day, it was Robinson from the Spurs.
Right.
The Admiral used to call him the Admiral. Okay. San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And he was in San Antonio for the weekend, him and his family, and they were sitting at a table, a very nice restaurant, sitting at a table. Behind his son, like literally behind his son, dad was over, behind his son, the Admiral came in, the basketball star back in the day, sat right behind him, right? His son was like, Dad, that's like Robert Johnson, like Robinson,
Yeah.
the Admiral. He's like, yeah, son, he's here to eat. I want to get his autograph. Yes. He says, no, wait. He came here to eat.
Yeah.
Let him eat. And maybe later on, you can ask him for his autograph. Robinson heard him, pulled his chair back, turned around, went to the boy, and he says, how you doing? And he goes, I'm doing good. And he's like, you want me to sign something? Yes. He signed it, right? Gave it to him and told his dad, sir, I appreciate that. And he turned around and sat and ate his meal. You see what I mean? All it takes, a little respect, man. It's like Eminem, big star.
Yeah.
I get it, big star. Dude, what I wouldn't give to meet that guy. And trust me, I'm not a rap kind of guy, but he is one, me and my wife, we listen to him in our truck. Yeah, we're 50 years old, but we still listen to you, Eminem, because, dude, this guy can mix up lyrics, tones. Like 1 minute he's rapping at this level, then boom, he's rapping at this level, and then back down to this level in one song. It's like to me it was unheard of. Because usually you rap, if you notice artists, you could tell you rap the song and you have your lyrics, your regular
flow,
and then you go through your chorus, if you will, right? And then come back to your song again, and then your chorus in the back. This guy's all over the place, and he's making it rhyme. That's like blowing us out of the water. And we were like, whoa! The first time we heard him, we were in the truck, and Mom asked me, "He's like, who's that?" I said, "That's Eminem." He goes, "Eminem, really?" And he started looking at him like, holy cow!
He's been there for a while, and y'all just not.
Yeah.
And of course, it's been like
been there for a while.
It's been like a year, 2 years that we actually started following. I knew of him when he came out in there, but again, I'm not a rapper, follow rapper kind of guy.
How do I explain that to my kid?
But no, dude. I mean, to my hats off to him. He's like up there. But anyway, again, I get where he's coming from, where he cannot go and enjoy a burger and everything, and I get it. But it comes with the fame.
He's self-aware about it too, though.
It comes with the fame, but at the same time, I do blame people for losing it every time they see somebody like that. You know what I mean? Oh my God, they want to ruin your day. You know, when all you could have done, have patience, wait, and then maybe come up and say, "Sir, can I take a picture?"
No, and then
You know,
there's
whatever.
those people that will be like, "Oh, then you're just not a biggest fan as me." Like, no,
No. We
Listen,
It has nothing to do with
it has
Yeah,
nothing,
it had
to,
nothing
do
to do with the biggest
It's just
fan.
the fact is that dude, he
Yeah.
has his own time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be rude about it. Like, don't while the, especially like how you said, when the man is eating, that's not the time that you go. Wait,
No.
maybe if you're really a big fan, maybe let him eat, let him enjoy himself, and then when he's leaving or something, maybe ask for whatever.
Now, artists that you would like to interview.
Artists that I would like to.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's
One. Your top one.
My top one, like artists, like movie or just
Whatever.
Celebrity,
Ooh,
like
man,
an
that's-
artist,
No,
whatever.
come
That's
on.
a hard. Can we do like a top three?
No,
all right.
The one guy, the
The
one person
one-
that you really want to just hear from.
That
The-
5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Ask me the questions.
Dang. Oh. I can't pick. I can't.
It has to be
Come
one.
on. I got him on speed dial, so you better hurry up.
Oh yeah. Right. I'm gonna have to go with.
An actor, dude. Somebody.
I
No,
know.
somebody
I had
singer,
there's a
actor,
long
whatever.
list. There's a long list of who I want to interview.
Oh, really?
It's not just one person.
No, it has to be
It's-
Come
one.
on,
it's-
the
it's-
first guy that comes
Come
to
on.
mind, I was like,
Yeah, the very first guy, and I feel bad because not to offend the king, of country, but it'd be Aldine. It'd be
Jason
Aldine. I would like to
Jason
interview
Aldean?
Aldine. Yes,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Where's he from? Where's he from? Tennessee?
he's
or
from he's from Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah,
He's
he's from
Georgia.
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
oh, even though there would be no chance to, but I would have interviewed Vessel. His name is Vessel, the singer.
The singer?
Yeah.
His name is Vessel.
Okay.
But there's no way in hell like that
Well,
guy doesn't even talk.
well-
He only makes comments to magazines. But there's nobody has been like, okay, I'm here
Let's
with
see.
Vessel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I would like to, because the way that, and it's like sort of like Eminem, the way that man writes his lyrics, the way that he does his flows, the way that he sings.
Now you
It's
got me
un-
curious. I'm listening.
I'll have to show you, because the man's voice range, because he has a hard metal range where it's like a little deeper tone, but then he could get up to that high pitch, very nice, very, very great. That I would like, because he tells a story. Every single song that he has is a story.
Okay. With that said, you said Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
What would be your question to ask him?
What would be the question to ask him?
What would be the question you want to know from Jason Aldean?
Just one.
What
How
is
did, like, what's the one thing that you can give me to make it where I'm at? What's that one drive that says, you're here, get to here? You know what I mean? Don't quit, don't give up. Like, what's that speech that you?
That speech.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
How about you?
See, I've listened to all of his music, so I think the one question that I would have is, basically, throughout all of his career, all of his life, he has his ups and downs of what he had. Maybe what made him
The turning point.
no, because he still hasn't. He's
Yeah,
still in that
yeah.
part of his life.
Okay,
and it's not
okay,
turning
okay,
point. So
okay. I
trust
got
me.
you.
More like, what was it? Because he talks about his hardships and stuff like that. What was the answer to? Basically, I'm trying to word it right.
See,
because
I
if
told
if
you.
don't-
You're
if I don't, I
giving
sound
me gripe
stupid.
about who to interview.
No. I'm trying to word it correctly because I don't want to sound stupid. So basically, what was the definitive answer to make him be like, okay, I could wake up tomorrow and I could still keep going? Like, what was the answer to why am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
what-
he still-
what keeps him?
What keeps him
What
right
keeps
here?
him
Like, what
ticking?
keeps him
Yeah.
here? Even with all the fame that he has,
Yeah.
he still has the mentality of, I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it for the music.
Yeah,
for
the music,
the love
the
of the
love of
the
music,
drive of
yeah.
the love of the music.
Okay.
What
And-
keeps
and-
him there?
oh,
Because
oh.
mostly of his discography, they would have fallen
Speaking of
off
Yeah.
by now as an artist.
Yeah.
There's a certain point where they fall off. They
Yeah.
lose their meaning. So how does he still maintain that? You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of that, you wonder, like, why didn't I choose George? Because he's the king of country. I get it. Why don't I choose other artists that are more out there? And to me, the reason why I would interview him is because at the time, of country, there was only country and there was just whatever the heck country was.
Country was.
You know what I mean? That was it. And to me, he found that threshold of like, you know, he puts a little rock and roll in his music, kind of like Chris Ledoux did, kind of like, you know, people like that,
Okay.
you know, like you know, Hank Jr. That's what that kind of, because to me, that's all I grew up on was traditional country, and that's it. And I'm like, man, you know, and I liked it, and I got it, you know, years later. But at the time when I was like, you know, a kid, you know, in my teens, you know, I like rock music as well. So when he came out with that style of, it was cool to wear a cowboy hat, you know, and it was cool to wear jeans, you know, that were.
That was a crazy one for me. A side topic, like what happened to that, right? Where they were going through the caps.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
I'll, I'll explain that
Yeah.
here.
So that
my choice.
okay, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry,
So that's why. So that's why I would choose Aldine, because he was to me he was that, you know, where George made an impact. George Strait made an impact in country music the way that he did. He also did the same thing in a different way, and that's why you know, that's why his name is known now. You know.
But to
Anyways,
me,
all right, go ahead.
To me, the best artist that I would like to meet, George Strait.
Yeah,
George Strait.
see, I knew it.
No, no, no.
That's probably
George
right.
Strait. And if someone sees this video and sends it to him, the only question, not only one, if I had 2 minutes, the only question that I would ask this man.
What does he put on his hat to make him look so good?
No.
Oh.
Who shapes your hats?
Who shapes that?
That's it. That's all I would ask. Who shapes your hat? Now, if I had follow-up questions, of course, I want to know, number one, how did he came with the style? How did you come with that style?
He set us up.
Number one. Number
Look
two,
at that. He set us up.
Number two is who shapes your hat?
We're all over here.
They're always top notch.
We're all over here in deep. We're all over here in deep thought, and like,
you guys,
we're like,
you guys,
from right here, you know, and this man.
Well, you got to think of it this way. And the reason I said that is you got to think of it this way. You guys pretty much describe what every other person would ask of those artists.
Well, yeah, obviously.
You're right.
I mean, you're not wrong, but we're asking them.
But my question is something that has never been asked of that man. I've never seen any interview anywhere about his hat. Now, remember, the hat and the cap thing, we can go on another hour because George Strait was the one that they asked him not to wear a hat.
We can talk about that next segment.
We can do that next segment.
Yeah.
Okay, my gripe, now that we went through the music and everything about that artist and the TV shows and everything, why do they call it a drive-through if it takes too long to get my meals?
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
What?
We got
To be honest, I had one too.
I literally have to stop and wait for my meal.
It's a, you know.
And they call it fast food. What part of fast food?
No, and then I worked at Burger King, and like we were, as far as Burger King standards are before, back when I was in high school, whatever. There was a time that we had to certain meats from the start of from the start of what the guy asked for it, and then when he drives through, pays his money, and then all the food, you have to have it in like a minute, like or something like that. Like you had a minute 20. That's our shot time. By the time he gets up in the front, he pays his food. His food's already almost out the door by the time he gets to that window, and stuff like that. But what happens is that you either, there's a lot of aspects of it. You either have not a lot of people. Piss poor workers that don't want to be there, or there's just a lot of people coming all at once.
I don't think we're ever.
Okay, but see, here's the thing though. For all the McDonald's owners and all that stuff, he said the key word. You don't have enough people. This is what I don't understand. I really don't understand. Bringing in two more employees.
I know. We still got. Yeah.
Bringing two more employees. Is it really going to bankrupt you? It's really going to bankrupt you.
It won't.
Then why not bring a full set of people in there?
No,
because today's generation is just not. It's just not the same.
No. You can find people that work.
No, yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
The biggest thing is that, for me, like I really didn't like the whole food industry, to be honest. Like it was fun because I was working with my buddies. That's the only fun part about it was. But as far as me being there, dealing with customers and stuff, like I hated it. But never in my life being in there where I had the mentality like I'm gonna drag my feet or I'm gonna be rude to the customer or whatever that may be. That's another aspect. Is like you have you have literal kids. Literally, when I went to not the name drop, but Dunkin' Donuts, I'm over there and I'm ordering, and the guy sounds like he don't want to be there. He's literally the way I come in, and you know how they say, "Hey, thank you for choosing whatever." He just came up and said, "How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, doing good. How are you?" He's like, "Doing all right."
I got an
What do
answer
you want?
for that one.
Like that's literally what he said,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude. In my opinion, look at your life. Like if you don't want to be there, now there's some people that cannot, like they'll say like, oh no, I just can't afford to go to another job or whatever. I don't have a GED, whatever. Okay, cool. Do you have? I don't know everybody's lifestyle or I don't know anybody's situation, but to my knowledge, for me, I didn't like being at the fucking counter taking orders, serving fries all my life. There's people that are still doing it for 10 plus years. I can't
forgot
do
to
that.
put that one.
We'll edit it.
For 10 plus years. I didn't want to do it. So what did I do? I just went to go try to find another job that I didn't have to deal with that. And in my opinion, if you're sitting there, a kid in high school that doesn't want to be there, why the heck is he there?
Okay, I'll answer that one. Okay, it's one of the factors, and people can say, oh no, it's not. No. Here's the thing. This generation is, I'll tell you one thing. What's a big factor in that? One of the factors is because of this right here. We sit here, we're putting our 2 cents and doing all that. What is the big problem? Social media. That is the thing. TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff. They all look at to make it their big break in the internet that they're going to become famous. And what people don't understand is that even then, that is a career. That is still a career in itself. This stuff right here that we do takes time to do.
We're
day jobs. Yeah,
we're not here to be
and
famous.
we're not here to be famous.
We
no,
just started this because we just
for fun. We just wanted to do fun,
and if it goes somewhere, then awesome.
If it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere.
We'll be there.
We're just here for your guys' entertainment because
But
we poke fun at we try to poke fun at each other.
And like I said, but here we are trying to do something that we actually enjoy, whatever that may be. But the people that are sitting there in their current job at the fast food place, the kid that's sitting there that doesn't want to take no order, that is freaking just very difficult to work with. Mm-hmm. He wants to do something, but he's like, but I don't want to do this at the same time.
Yeah.
But dude, you need to do something, or you're not paying the bills.
Yeah,
I still have to pay the bills.
I get it. I'm griping more about the way the situation is.
Not enough people.
Well, I mean, dude, I go like I don't understand. I pay my money here.
And then you go to the next window.
And then they say, go to the next window to get your food. Why? Why?
Yeah,
I pay my money here. You didn't ask me, go to the next window and pay your money. No, you didn't ask me that. You said, let me take your money and then go wait for your food.
Well, now they have 3 windows, right?
Really?
Yeah. The McDonald's, they have the pay window. Then you go. Then if they don't have they'll give you your drink.
And
that's right.
Go to the next one. Or go to the parking lot. Go to the parking space.
Can you pull forward? Why?
I
ordered before them.
This is what happens when you have.
It just crazy.
This is what happens when you have somebody that was born in the 1800s on your show.
Yeah,
we get answers like that.
Jeez, I mean, really, you give me the.
But in all honesty, these are the things that we're gonna have to because there's a lot of talk about there.
Yeah, we gotta really dig into this because again, I get frustrated when I go to and she says, "Go, what's that a place? Deluxe place? Not deluxe place.
The
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Yeah, but they have great service though.
I get that, but I still gotta wait in a big old line. Dude, here's another one. Here's another one for you. Wait. The DoorDash. Oh my God, we ordered DoorDash. Be here at 7. 7. Why?
Okay,
I only got 30-minute lunch. Be here at 7. Where they at?
I'm like that.
And then they show up
like
and they give us stuff and then they go, where's my drink? I don't know where your drinks are. You didn't read? and then so now
dude,
what?
The quality, I would say is more so.
I did snap at somebody.
We ordered it online. We ordered McDonald's online. We show up. We ordered it with plenty of time. We show up. Our order's not ready. Why did I call? One time we did an actual experiment. One of my buddies ordered it online. Same McDonald's. He ordered it online. I ordered through the window. You know, the little speaker thing that you don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I ordered it through there. And literally, when he showed up, we showed up at the same time. He wound up parked, and I wound up getting my order and off the way and back. And he ordered it online.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
talk.
no,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
have to
that's
talk.
a rant.
That's
That's
a
a rant
big
for
rant.
next.
I
Yeah,
don't understand.
that is a rant. Yeah.
Like, why?
Hey, lower your blood pressure. You're
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
go to you gotta, you know, that is a rant for next week. for next week.
If
But-
I'm still here by next
Yeah.
week.
No, I don't know.
man,
Yeah, hopefully. But those were our 2 cents on fans and writers and
fans.
productions and stuff. Again, that's just our 2 cents. Thank you for joining us today. Do hit that like button if you guys like all our content, and also follow us and just hit that subscribe button. But if you like us, write down in the comments what is your guys' biggest gripes and rants, and we'll talk about it. We'll share it with you guys, and we agree or disagree, or who knows. But thank you for joining us on today. This has been our 2 cents because we got 3.